Okay, I'm going to do a follow-up to one of my 2012 scenarios. And I feel like this event could actually take the cake and be the most likely event to happen. And it's Earth Crust Displacement. And I've got some shocking new evidence. Okay, we begin just after World War II had just ended, in 1946. And the Pentagon has conducted a mission under Air Force Major Maynard E. White and his squadron of the 46th Reconnaissance, the United States Strategic 1st Air Command Unit. The primary mission was to assess the Soviet air threat and the possibility of if there was a Soviet-US confrontation. It would most likely be waged over the Arctic. Unfortunately, in the Arctic, compasses are useless so close to the magnetic North Pole, so Major White and his men had to invent a new method of navigation using grids. If you're a modern pilot in Alaska or other Arctic regions of the world, you'll know that this method is in use even to this day. This was an extraordinary man who advanced military and civilian aviation to be able to circumnavigate the Arctic without compasses. In this process of making this system, White and his unit made a frightening discovery, which could prove that the government is covering up something huge pertaining to 2012. What they had found out was that magnetic north was 200 miles north from where they had expected it after they had tried to find it. They had then taken this very valuable information to the Pentagon. What they had then discovered was that since 1800 it had been roaming at 40 miles a year. In later studies, magnetic north had moved as much as 1,016 miles due north as of 2005, and at 185.66 miles every 5 years as of 1990, and accelerating, which puts it at reaching true north at around 2012, if not sooner. At any rate, after this info was turned over to the Pentagon, meetings had been held monthly about the subject. Government scientists specialized on the subject worried about what would happen if the two poles had met. Then, after the government scientists didn't know where to begin, the Pentagon contracted Dr. Paul A. Seipel to carry out Earth cycle studies to answer this question. Dr. Seipel was headed up for the Pentagon with the RAND Corporation for the studies of the flip of the Earth. His studies showed that when the two poles were aligned, that the magnetic pole would shoot around true north like the projectile through a rail cannon, and would land at the equator. When this happens, the magnetic field and the magnetized crust shift with magnetic north, causing Earth crust displacement. This would then cause polar ice to rapidly melt, given the fact that they are now at the equator. There will in turn be new polar ice forming rapidly at the newly established poles. This is just the beginning. As for all the ice melting, it all must go somewhere, right? And it does. The melting ice will cause global tsunamis. The shift will cause global earthquakes, volcanic eruptions, the reestablishment of plate tectonics, and even more devastating, tsunamis from the energy generated from the Earth crust displacement and unstable plate tectonics. This disturbance of magnetic north could cause a catastrophic 180 flip of the whole mantle, causing the Earth to rotate in reverse, causing the oceans to backtrack inland, making the term tsunami seem obsolete. It would be more like a continent swallowing tidal wave. According to Ken White, the son of Major Maynard White, the Pentagon debated on what they should do with the startling findings in 1948. The government was left with the quagmire of wanting to tell the public, but not knowing how they would go about doing so. I mean, they couldn't say everyone is going to die or civilization will come to an end and there's nothing anyone can do to stop it. They were afraid, and still are, that the public would compromise the safety of the government or human continuity, and that the people would feel that they've got nothing to lose and cause chaos in the street. So they then kept it quiet. But it was leaked, obviously. What's funny is the Department of Defense doesn't confirm or deny planning a contingency plan for an imminent Earth crust displacement. Whether or not Ken White's claims about the government debating about whether they should tell the public about this catastrophic event is true or not remains to be seen. But the fact remains that magnetic north is still roaming toward true north and is due at just around the ballpark of 2012. And also, if you don't believe me, study yourself. Time's running out. Over and out.